Look, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I've been thinking about it a lot, and making this book, and writing this book, and going through the notes of this book. Man, I can't trust the police. Not after what they did and put us through back in 2020 through 2022. Absolutely not. They've never come forward and issued a formal apology for all the civil rights violations that they took part in during that time period. So I can't do it. I simply cannot trust the police, at least the ones in Maryland, okay? Because they were a part of the scheme. They enabled Larry Hogan to get away with all of his crimes. Okay? It's that simple. And the state police that, I was thinking about keeping their names private because, they are just doing their jobs. But you know what? I think if people know that they're going to be protected and not have their names exposed by somebody, that they're just going to keep repeating that because they're going to hide behind that badge. They're going to hide behind that shield of anonymity. And I think that the world deserves, I was going to say needs, but no, deserves, the world deserves to know the names of the people who screwed with other people back during 2020 and even a year prior to that. They need to know that a guy like me attempted to shut down a guy like Larry Hogan before he did any damage. But he was just called crazy. He was just called, who are you to say what the law is? Well, I can read. I have a comprehension of the Constitution. Like, seriously, I'm sorry that I'm a free thinker. No, I'm not sorry. I'm never going to apologize for that. Because you know what? I'm not a little drone like the police, like the prosecutors. I actually understand that, the founding fathers envisioned a country of freedoms. That doesn't mean you can do whatever you want, but it also means that you cannot screw with people. And the biggest screw job in my lifetime was the year 2020. I have never seen such worse behavior, and the people just didn't do much to stop him, including myself, because you know what, I'm just one guy and I understand that. I'm one guy. I don't have a whole armory of weapons like the government does. But you know what, if people would have joined forces, we didn't even have to use violence to get our way. We could have just said, you know what, we're not listening to you. Let's open up the nail salons. Let's open up the hair salons. Let's open up the dog groomers. Let's open up the boutique shops. And we're not going to listen to you because what you're doing is unlawful. And if you do try to put us under arrest, if you do try to shut down our businesses, if you do attempt to fine us or imprison us, you're going to be the ones on the receiving end of justice. At that point, we act. But divided, which we still are, by the way, there is no non-essential business union that I'm aware of, organization, whatever you want to call it, that I'm aware of in Maryland to protect non-essential businesses from being screwed over again. As far as I know, that didn't happen. No, in fact, what they're doing is they're taxing people more, these businesses more. They're raising their fees for licensure. I'm getting so sick and tired of these cops, seriously. That is why, from the safety of my home, I will be calling them up because they're going to be, oh, you're trespassing on us. You're trespassing. Well, you know what? Who's trespassing? You know who's trespassing? A bunch of people who shouldn't be in this country. And that's the point of what I'm doing. But while I'm writing the book, I can't have any potential issues, legal issues, because I need to get that book finished. But after that book is finished, which is my deadline now, is September 27th, okay? By September 27th, I want the book to be finished and ready to go to print. It's going to be a print-on-demand kind of deal. Now, I will have copies available to buy with cash if you don't want your credit card being attached to a purchase of a book like this. But the rest of you will get a book that's printed on demand. It's the beauty of the year 2024. It's been like that for a while. You can order books that are printed and then sent to you. It's actually a really cool thing. These are professional quality level books, by the way. It's not like, somebody's printing from their home computer printer. But the book's going to probably be short and sweet, to the point, narrowing down. I had like 60 pages of notes, and you're going to understand why I'm so against the police right now. Because they could have shut down short, fat Larry Hogan, and they chose not to. Because at the end of the day, they're there to collect their paychecks. They don't want to get their pensions disturbed. They can't be free thinkers. They don't understand. And they don't, quite frankly, they don't care. Because their paychecks were not affected by the COVID shutdowns. They don't care. Larry Hogan didn't with them. Larry Hogan kept them in a job. But if they would have had their, if these cops would have been put in the unemployment line, something tells me that little lockdown lefty Larry Hogan would have been put in handcuffs and dragged away to the Jessup State Prison.